Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you've been hanging out with us for our recent deep dives into cloud computing, you already know the basics, right? We've tackled how to stash your data, and we've talked about spinning up raw computing power. But today we're taking it a step further. We're going to act as your personal tech mentors, and we're building a cloud network totally from the ground up. We are looking at the absolute backbone of the cloud, network configuration. This is the magic that actually wires everything together and brings it all to life. Let's get right into it. Imagine a super common scenario. A company comes to you and says, hey, we want to host our shiny new website on the cloud. Okay, awesome. You've got your storage locked down for the files, and you've spun up the computation to run the actual code. But wait a second, here's the big question. How do you actually secure your cloud? Think about it. Just having a hard drive and a processor somewhere in a server farm, that is definitely not enough to keep a company's sensitive data safe, to protect their proprietary code, or to make sure the whole app doesn't crash when traffic suddenly spikes. And that brings us to the complete picture. See, any solid cloud setup relies on three core pillars. You've got your storage, you've got your computation, but then you have networking. That is the crucial third pillar. Networking is literally the missing link that allows real people, your everyday users, to actually reach that hosted website. A company wants their application to be out there and accessible, but at the exact same time, they demand that their data is locked down, their app is shielded, and the whole system is completely scalable. Striking that perfect, delicate balance, that is entirely achieved through networking. Section 1. The main characters, VPC and VNet. All right, let's meet the stars of our cloud networking story. The big cloud providers basically tackle this exact same problem, just using slightly different jargon. If you're building your infrastructure on Amazon Web Services, AWS, you're going to use what's called a virtual private cloud, or VPC. Over in Microsoft Azure territory, they give you the exact same functionality, but they call it a VNet. Now, don't let the alphabet soup confuse you. At their core, their fundamental mission is absolutely identical. They both let you draw a very secure, invisible fence around your cloud resources. It's like provisioning a private island in the cloud, where your servers can talk to each other securely, scale up instantly to meet huge demand, and keep out any unwanted guests with rock-solid security protocols. Section 2. The Great Divide. Subnetting. Now, just having one giant walled-off network isn't really going to cut it. We have to be strategic. Think of your new cloud network like premium digital real estate. We have to slice this property up to keep the public-facing stuff far away from our hidden back-end resources. We call this subnetting. Over in your public subnet, boom, this is where the action is. Your main website lives right here, catching all those massive waves of user requests and high public traffic. It's fast, it's open, it's ready for the world. But then we step back into the private subnet. This is your vault. This is where you keep your databases. If your company processes sensitive third-party financial payments, they live right here. This area is completely isolated, strictly internal only, and heavily protected from the outside world. This ensures that even if your web front-end gets compromised, the crown jewels remain totally untouched. Section 3. Border control, gateways, and firewalls. Okay, so if we have these completely separated zones, it begs a pretty important question. How on earth do we monitor and control the traffic flowing between these subnets and the outside world? We really need to keep a close eye on both inbound and outbound traffic. What requests are coming into our organization's network, and what data is trying to sneak out. To manage this securely, we use a distinct set of tools. Internet gateways provide the big front doors to the outside world, enabling your public subnets to communicate out. Then you have NAT gateways. Think of these like one-way mirrors. They specifically let your private hidden databases reach out to the internet to download essential software updates, but they completely block anyone on the internet from reaching in. Meanwhile, for true heavy-duty security, we apply strict mechanisms. Security groups, or NSGs, act as virtual firewalls at the specific server level, dictating exactly what can talk to a specific machine. Add in network access control lists, or NACLs, which provide an overarching blanket of security at the actual subnet boundary itself. It's much like setting up a highly secure VPN inside a traditional corporate data center. These virtual firewalls let you block unauthorized access and ensure your private subnets stay entirely private. Section 4. Directing traffic, routing, and CIDR. All right, so our borders are secured and our firewalls are up. But once data is actually inside, how does it know where to go? To draw the map for all these internal paths, both AWS and Azure rely heavily on something called CIDR. That stands for Classless Interdomain Routing.
This is the absolute fundamental method used to allocate IP addresses and chop up your larger network into those specific subnets we just talked about. It is the underlying zoning plan for your entire cloud architecture. By using a CIDR block, you are essentially defining the exact range of available IP addresses your network is allowed to use. Honestly, CIDR is an incredibly powerful but complex topic. Figuring out how IP allocation works and calculating these blocks perfectly so they don't overlap is basically an art in itself. In fact, it's so critical that we're actually going to dedicate a whole separate explainer just to CIDR later on, complete with some practical examples. So keep an eye out for that.
But working right alongside CIDR, we rely on routing tables to guide your data packets to their exact destinations. Imagine you just walked into a sprawling labyrinth of a corporate campus. The routing tables are basically the hallway signs and the security guards rolled into one. When a data packet arrives, the routing table looks at it and says, hey, you need to go over to this specific location or take a left down that path. They hand out strict step-by-step directions so every single piece of data knows exactly which subnet to travel to. This guarantees that your web traffic goes straight to the website and never, ever accidentally wanders into your highly secure databases. And this brings us to a perfect summary of how all these concepts just harmonize together. Routing tables guide the data, subnets protect it. By layering all these incredible tools, using VPCs and VNets to isolate your environment, slicing it up with subnetting, guarding the doors with virtual firewalls, and directing the traffic with routing tables, we build a cloud architecture that is effortlessly scalable and completely locked down. You want to know why this matters? Because this exact setup is the invisible machinery keeping your personal online transactions safe every single day. Which leaves us with a critical question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. How is your organization's data currently routed and secured? Are your public and private subnets actually isolated? Or is there a vulnerability just sitting there waiting to be found? I really want you to think about your own cloud security setup today and ask yourself where your most sensitive information truly lives. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore this, and I will see you next time when we return for our promised deep dive on CIDR.